7th grade. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about colons and semicolons. They are actually used as punctuation, not just as emojis. So first we're going to talk about the colon. They call it a sentence gateway. Now, when you're using a colon in a sentence, it's going to come at a point in the sentence where the sentence could actually come to a complete stop. You could put a period and go on with your life and everyone would be fine. So, for example, I might say to you, I'm going to tell you the names of all my favorite breakfast foods. And we put a period after the word foods because we know the sentence is ended. But maybe I will continue on to tell you what my favorite foods are going to be. A list of breakfast foods. Now, what if I combined that into a sentence? Well, because I would put my period after the word foods, I could also put a colon there, and then the list comes after it. I'm going to tell you the names of my favorite breakfast foods. Pop-Tarts, Cocoa Pebbles, oatmeal, toast with cinnamon, sugar, and butter, and chocolate chip pancakes with real syrup. Yeah, I should probably start eating healthier. The proper punctuation mark to set this list off is a colon. It announces that a list is about to follow. It's a gateway. So, what if I had this sentence though? I'm saying the same exact thing, but take a look at it. What is different? Could we stop the sentence after the word are? No, you wouldn't. It kind of keeps flowing. So we would not use a colon in the sentence above. The sentence does not come to a stop after the word are. This just flows in. We just learned about objects, direct objects and indirect objects. That is kind of like what we have here. We would not stop. The sentence flows right into the list, and we would not put a colon. Just like our object lessons, we also remember we will never put a colon after a verb or preposition. That's just always a good kind of indication that your sentence isn't stopped. Yeah. So I would not want to write the following items would be required at camp: sleeping bags, tent, hiking, shoes, and compass. Like, too much. It kind of, again, flows where it shouldn't. We need to have a stop somewhere. The following items will be required at camp: sleeping bag, tent, hiking shoes, and compass. Now, this lesson, I always have a difficult time teaching at this slide here, because the right way to do it would be to put "Dear Sir, colon." If you are writing a letter to someone you don't know, that is a business letter. If you're applying for a job, or if you are writing to a company to get a refund, it should be a business letter. But it's one of those rules that, because of emails, it's become so informal that I almost wonder if people would think you were wrong to do so. So I guess my rule I would suggest for "Dear Sir, colon," if you are writing to the head of a linguistics department, or if you are majoring in English literature, by all means use it. Otherwise, maybe it's not so important. Now, if you do not know that a colon is used to separate hours and minutes and time and expressions, you are either from Europe, where they do it with a period, or I cannot help you. I'm sorry. We talked about it being a gateway. It means take a look at what's about to follow. The teacher's desk was cluttered with all kinds of papers. Unopened letters, absence reports, phone messages, and tests. It's again that list, and take a note of what follows. I have 3 hobbies. What are they? Sewing, cooking, and painting. So again, we're not going to use the colon when a list follows immediately after a verb or preposition, like my 3 hobbies are sewing, cooking, and painting. We would not stop the sentence after the word are. Or same thing here. That summer we traveled through. We wouldn't stop the sentence there. We would just keep flowing and going. So let's take a look. What do you think? In this sentence, would we put a colon? In science class, we have to learn the meaning of words: behave, quiet, attention, and respect. Yes, you would put one there after words, because you could stop it. You could stop the sentence, and in science class, we have to learn the meaning of words. How about there were sandwiches, cold drinks, and candy? No colon. You would not stop the sentence after were. You would not stop it after sandwiches. I mean, I guess you could stop it after sandwiches, but that just kind of leaves cold drinks and candy out in the cold. There are only 3 primary colors in painting: red, blue, and yellow. Yes, we will put a colon there. We can stop the sentence after the word paint, and then the list follows after. What about this one? No colon. You would not stop the sentence. My dog is. I mean, it's existentially correct, but no. So now we're going to talk about semicolons. A semicolon is, we've talked about in class when we did adverbial conjunctions, but there's other ways to use it. There's a great example here, the sentence about our gorilla. Using a semicolon isn't hard, semicolon. I once saw a party gorilla doing it. We're going to check out this website as part of our work too, because it's really kind of funny and I love it. So we talked about how a semicolon can be used to join 2 related sentences or clauses, each with the same meaning. The field trip to the park should be fun. We are all going to bring a game to play. You don't want to run those all together. You want to put a semicolon in between the 2 complete thoughts. The field trip to the park should be fun. We are all going to bring a game to play. Remember, no comma splices. No comma splices. I'll tell you why.
A comma splice is when you use 2 complete thoughts, but only combine them with a comma and no conjunction. Mr. Tutusco was my high school English teacher, and if you ever used a comma splice on one of his pages, he'd smack your desk.
Semicolons. To join independent clause in a compound sentence without a comma and a conjunction. So, one cousin, should say is, grammar teacher mistake. One cousin is driving here from Colorado. Another will take a plane from Maine. They also come before adverbial conjunctions. We are learning at home. Therefore, comma, we can wear pajama pants. We did a lot of this on no red ink. Samantha likes that sentence. She's giggling across the room. It's okay, you can giggle. Now, just like our friend the comma, semicolons can save lives too. Make sure you use punctuation when it matters. This could be Exhibit A in a very unfortunate trial. So, one other way to use semicolons we haven't talked about is that we can use them to separate items in a series when one or more of the items include commas. Oh, I'm sure you're all saying, oh yes, I know exactly what that is. No, you don't. Let's take a look. So let's say that we needed to talk about what we needed for art. What we need for class are paintbrushes. That's one thing. We need red, yellow, and blue paint. That's another category, but notice that red and yellow already have their commas there. A sketch pad, a pencil, and an art smock. So it helps separate those different categories. Otherwise, if you had colors or commas all over, you'd need paintbrushes, you'd need red, you'd need yellow. That doesn't make sense. We often use it when we're talking about numerous different places. I went to Marlborough, Vermont, which is one place, Phoenix, Arizona, which is another, New York, another, and Austin, Texas. So you want to make sure your meaning is clear. You went to these 4 places. You can go to 8 places. So we're going to do some practice. And I'm going to be quiet here a bit because I want you to go get a pencil and a paper or your iPad or draw or whatever it is that you can write down and give us a little practice. Don't forget, you can always pause this and get what you need. So for this first sentence, actually I'm going to do all these first and then just have you write the 4 sentences. Would you use a colon? Would you use a semicolon? If so, where would it go? Pause on this slide, write these sentences out. Don't get lazy and just write the one word. I'm looking at you. Don't just skip through. You know who you are. Write the sentences out. Are you in a rush to go sit on the couch and watch another hour of Netflix? Take a break. Do some work. Help your brain. You're not pausing it, are you? Okay, so for those of you who did pause, thank you. For those of you who didn't, I know who you are. Here are our answers. You have a semicolon after forgiveness because you have 2 complete thoughts. You asked for forgiveness. He granted it to you. You used a semicolon in the second one. because you have an adverbial conjunction. Oh, what happened to number 3? The order was requested 6 weeks ago, semicolon, therefore, comma. I expected the shipment to arrive by now. So for some reason, that very mistake, sorry. And then the American flag has 3 colors, colon, red, white, and blue. I'm not re-recording this just because I forgot the semicolon in the third sentence. So, we are finished here with my instructions. You can go ahead back and watch this again. You can take notes, and then you can do the assignments that are listed below in Google Classroom. Thanks so much, everybody. Hope you have a good one. Bye. Yes, say goodbye.
Goodbye.